I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is about Marshall JCM2000 TSL100 compared to Marshall JCM800 2203, or actually a few of them. Rock and roll. Sounded pretty good, huh? Marshall JCM2000 TSL100 on the Crunch channel, boosted with Buzz SD1 into Marshall 96BX cabinet, where I have greenbacks and V30s. Now the microphones, which are SM57 and SC Electronics VR1 ribbon mic, are in front of a V30. So I doubled the guitars. I doubled the rhythm guitar after I filmed myself, so I recorded the main guitar, which I play the lead also, the mics in front of a V30, then I moved it to in front of a greenback, and then I doubled the rhythm guitars. And I recorded, usually when I do these, songs, I record the DI signal at the same time, because I need to have the cabinet, it's loud. I mean, I'm taming it down a little bit with Sandrock's React IR, which is a reactive load and cap attenuator, but I'm only using the cap attenuator, so it doesn't do anything else. But it's still, I'm taming it down a little bit, so it's really loud here. So I need to have the, backing track really loud. And sometimes, there's a more bleed, sometimes not. But after I got this SC, there's not much. So I didn't end up using the DI and reamping it after I filmed myself. I used what I recorded when I filmed myself. There was a bleed, so on the guitar channels you can hear the drums a little bit, but that's kind of like, how bands did that in the, old days, back in the day. In the same room, there was a little bit bleed. It doesn't matter, it worked just fine. This SC, this isolation thing helps a lot. So yeah, worked out fine. Didn't have the need to reamp the track, even though there was bleed from the drums, but So, yeah, many of you have asked me that what is the closest amp to get a JCM800 tone? I think it's the TSL100 and Blue Guitar's Amp1 Iridium. I've done a video, actually a couple of videos about the Amp1. It isn't here now because it's my main live amp and it's my live board. My live board is actually, this moment is in Finland. It's going to Sweden soon, where we have shows with CYHRA. So that is probably it was so close when I did the video and compared it to the Bad Boy, I really couldn't tell the difference. And this one is awesome too, the Crunch channel. I have here JCM800 from 1985, aka the little brother. It has EL34s, so this has EL34s. Both have JJ ECC83S/12X7 preamp tubes, and I can't remember the power amp tubes, but they are EL34s on both. So let's compare. You'll hear. So first the GSL. They sound almost identical, at least here. The 800, this is a huge low end. This has way more low end than the Bad Boy and the Zakk Wylde one. I don't know why, but all the JCM800s, they're all different. So, but yeah, I could turn more low end on this. This actually has a bit too much. Let me tame it down a bit. Okay, GSL. I was switching back and forth. so yeah, the settings. Someone's gonna ask anyway. I don't have general settings. It changes from day to day. What guitar, what speakers are. It's just sweet spots. But anyway, on this one, it's now the deep switch is on. I think this sounds quite weak without it. So it's kind of like a resonance. It just adds similar woof than what 800s have. Presence 7, bass 8, mid 6, treble 6, volume noon 5, crunch gain 6.5. And the SD settings, picture somewhere there. This one is a Presence 5. Now I dial the bass. It's 7 now. Mid 6, treble 6. The master is 2, but it doesn't go louder than 3. Afternoon, this blows up. Same with this one. These are the Scandinavian editions made to the Scandinavian market. I done a video of that whole thing too. It's on my Euge playlist. So these are. I'm in Switzerland now. I don't know if the electricity back in the 80s was different in Scandinavia. I was a little kid then. I didn't have these back then, but anyway, they're extremely hot. Usually once a year, either of these blow up. And they blow up every time if I turn the master past noon, because it's like off and on. So these two, the masters are both at 2. They are as loud as this one on 5 or 6, so really loud. So as you know, like regular 800 like this, it's a Zakk Wylde signature, but it's a reissued 2203X just with 6550 power tubes and Zakk Wylde graphics. And after 6, it doesn't go really louder, it just adds more power and distortion. So these are the same. After 2, it just adds. I mean, after 1, it's like it starts to add the power and distortion. After 2, it's kind of the sweet spot. After 3, it's just becomes really noisy. Afternoon, I made that mistake a few times by turning them past noon, and they have blown up every single time. Many texts have asked me that, do I want them to be fixed? I was like, no. They've been like that ever since I bought them in the late 90s. They're the best 800s I've ever played, and I played hundreds of them. I used to own 5 at the same time, the most. Then I sold the others and kept these, and then the Zakk Wylde I bought couple of years ago, because I just, it's pretty rare, only 600 made, and it's kind of like your standard stock 800. Many people were saying, yeah, but you do those videos, they are so different. They're not. they're just louder, you know. And they have a little bit. The preamp now it's 7, but it's the same than with master. It doesn't do anything past that. It just and the preamps just blow up. So it's the same as this one on regular 810. With these around, they're both 7, but it's the yeah. Anyway, okay, let's compare them without the SD. SD is off. I don't actually even know which one I have now. Let's see if I can tell. I think this is TSL. Whoops. Yeah, that was TSL. Because the 800 it just has that huge sound. TSL is a little bit more kind of aggressive in your face, a little bit more modern, the crunch time, but really close as you can hear. That was TSL, no 800. Well, someone's gonna ask anyway, like, well, how does the bad boy compare? Let me show you. It's the second, number 2, like it says. It's a bit quieter now than the others. This is the bad boy. It's just now the 85. As you can see, the 85, he has a bigger bottom end, but the bad boy, why it is my favorite, because it's just mean and it's really tight. I mean, the bass is pretty much full almost, but it's just so tight because of the 6550 power tubes. So there's a lot more headroom, so the low end is cleaner, and the EL34s, they start to break up earlier, so the low end, I don't actually know if it's bigger, if it just sounds bigger, because you get this you know, fast thing. And you hear, it's really noisy. It's just this, you know. Okay, now I'm comparing all 3. Let's start with the TSL. Okay, while we're at it, let me show you the other channels, because it is a fantastic amp. Check out the clean sound with chorus. I mean, it's... It's really good, clean sound. And then the lead channel, it's just tighter, more aggressive, more modern. No overdrives, the gain is 2. It has this... It's almost like a bad boy. Anyway, you got the point. These amps, they go nowadays quite cheap. I never understood why, because it's my favorite multi-channel Marshall, no questions, easily. When I bought this, it had a few flaws, like this tends to have, you know, don't know why, but mine had there was a ground problem on the speaker output jacks. That was really noisy. I took that to an amp tech. You know, he fixed that. I don't know if he did anything else, but since then, that was like 2 years ago or something. No problems. Works like a charm. So if you find one, strong recommendation if you want to have fantastic clean sound, JCM800 crunch, modern metal, like you heard. I didn't have any SD or anything in front. It works fine. It's a really tight channel. Get these before I think at some point other people than me will realize how good they are. The same happened with 800s back in the day when I bought these. Everybody was selling these and buying these high gain amps. Bad boy, 300 euros. Little brother, 400 euros. Back in the day. I mean, the value of the money is a little bit different, but you get the point. This one, I remember, not much. But I'm pretty sure at some point, like I said, other than me will realize how absolutely great amps these are. I prefer these over DSL. DSL1, the JCM2000 DSL. Don't confuse these to the new DSL100s. They're okay, but a little bit cheap, not just the price. But the DSL is pretty good. It kind of has the crunch and the lead channels are quite similar, but this clean channel, it's just a great amp. Hey, hopefully, you know, your questions were answered and you found this interesting and informative. If you can't buy 800, I mean, I think the prices are quite high nowadays. Not now. The prices are quite high nowadays. Get a used TSL, take it to an amp tech to fix the flaws if it has any. Rock and roll.